Today in this oral presentation number 2, I'll be discussing a little bit of geology. Geology is the study of the earth. Geologists study how the earth was formed, the structures of the earth, and the processes acting upon them. The United States Geological Survey states the 6 main goals of geologists. The first one is characterizing and interpreting the geological framework of the earth through time. It's very important to understand where the earth was formed and how it became to be today. The second is understanding Earth's surface climatic process and anticipating their effects on the ecosystem health and change. Obviously, all of us live here on the Earth, so it's very important to understand how the Earth was made, where it's going in the future, and understanding just the whole gist of it to be able to live happily on this Earth. The third one is to understand the quality available of Earth's natural resources in the global context. So obviously climate change is a very pressing issue right now, and we only have so many limited resources, so understanding really how many resources are in the world and where we can find them and how we can sustainably use them is a key. The fourth one is increasing the resilience of communities to geological and environmental hazards. The fifth one, apply the most advanced technologies and best practices to effectively acquire and analyze and communicate our data and knowledge for the future. So understanding where all that data comes from and understanding how to process it so that the public can fully understand what's happening with the earth and the technologies that are happening. And the sixth one is develop a flexible and diverse workforce for the future. Obviously, we still need geologists in this world. We always will be. So that's one of their 6 main goals of geology for the United States Geological Survey. While geology mostly focuses on the past and understanding how the earth came to be, some of their work also looks at to the future and understanding where the faults and plate tectonics are moving and seeing where they can hopefully predict maybe where the next earthquake is, so we can do some preventative things to not cause as much destruction. Geology is an ever-changing science. Geologists are always out there discovering more and more things about the earth through new technologies and processes. So the more technologically advanced we become, the more we understand about the earth. Without the field of geology, we would not really know what the earth is made up of, and that's kind of a dangerous thing to not know about, saying that all of humanity lives on the earth. So understanding the earth is a key part of our society and the way that we function in our day-to-day lives. Since the earth is where we live, this is very essential to cohabitate the earth with all these resources, the water, the oxygen, all of those type of things. It provides us all the necessary things for us to live, so we really need to understand where these materials and resources came from so that we know how to sustainably use them for the future. In the field of architecture, geologists' insight has direct effect on the way that we design and build for the future of architecture. Quote unquote, there could be the same building in California as there is in Kansas, but we would design it differently and structurally load it differently because of the seismic activity that is located within California. This is key for us when we're designing and building so that we're not really in the dark and have to come up with a whole new design once we get the geological surveys back. Understanding these surveys before we start designing helps us not design in the dark and helps us fully understand how these seismic loads are happening and affecting the way that the building is. Take, for instance, the state of California. The National Council of Architectural Registration Board states to become a licensed architect in the state, you must take one more licensure exam that is solely focused on seismic activity and designing for it. To become an architect, you have to take 5 very extensive exams about designing and building buildings, but for the state of California, you have to add 1 more to that to make sure that you fully understand the seismic wave and activity that is within the state of California and the surrounding areas to design for the future and hopefully have a better impact on humanity when the next earthquake strikes, because we know that it will eventually happen. Without the field of geologists, architects, like I said, would be really designing in the dark and not fully understanding the site, which is a key aspect of designing. And due to the work of geologists, we are saving humanity in the future in structures and buildings and shaping the way that the world is today.